Where's Tenzin? Home?
Yeah,
Sleeping already.
probably close to it, yeah.
You're on to
Okay. Good evening. It's 7 o'clock here in New York City. This is the Tibet Center, Buddhist Meditation and Study Center, located in New York City, here on 30th Street, and also in northern New Jersey and South Orange. And this is our twice weekly presentation of the Buddha Dharma, specifically the Lamrim Chenmo and related topics. So we cover everything's related to the Lamrim. Prayers we say are on the website, the FAQ section. Scroll down to prayers. If you want us to pray for anyone who has passed away in the last week, place their names in the chat box as soon as possible. Don't wait till the end because it's on somewhat of a delay. And we'll start with the usual prayers. Prayer for the spreading of the teachings about the length and breadth of the West. Tonight we'll hear from His Holiness Dalai Lama this meditation that's very interesting, and it's a tool you're going to need if you really want to make progress in the long run. The way he presents how to go about generating compassion, it's more than that, more than the topic. So I think you'll like it. If you don't like it, we'll give you your money back. Prayer for the spreading of the teachings. By the force of the blessings of the non-fallacious, free, precious gems, and of the truth of our pure, selfless wishes, may the precious Buddhist teachings flourish and spread to the expanse of all areas throughout the length and breadth of the West. For all the people who live there, together with their dear ones, who have engaged in the teachings and have faith and respect for them, may all conditions adverse to their practice of the pure Dharma be dispelled, and an excellent collection of favorable conditions increase like the waxing moon. And especially for those who work on methods to accomplish this flourishing and spreading of the victorious one's teachings, which are the source of benefit and happiness. May they never be oppressed by masses of interference and adverse conditions, and may this continuously happen just as we have hoped and wished. The Heart Sutra. Thus have I heard once. The Blessed One was dwelling in the royal domain of the Vulture Peak Mountain, together with a big gathering of great monks and great bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One entered the samadhi which examines the Dharma, called profound illumination. And at the same time, noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, Manassattva, looking at the profound practice of transcendent knowledge, saw the five skandhas in their natural emptiness. Then, through the inspiration of the Buddha, Venerable Sharaputra said to Avalokiteshvara, how should those noble ones learn who wish to follow the profound practice of transcendent knowledge? And Avalokiteshvara answered, Venerable Sharaputra, whoever wishes to follow the profound practice of transcendent knowledge should look at it like this. Seeing the five skandhas in their natural emptiness. Form is empty. Emptiness itself is form. Emptiness is not separate from form. Form is not separate from emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discriminating awareness, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Thus, all the dharmas are empty and have no characteristics. They are unborn and unceasing. They are not impure or pure. They neither decrease nor increase. Therefore, since there is emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discriminating awareness, no composition of factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no appearance, no sound, no smell, no taste, no sensation, no objects of mind, no quality of sight, no quality of hearing, no quality of smelling, no quality of tasting, no quality of sensing, no quality of thought, no quality of mind consciousness. There are no endowments from ignorance to old age and death, no other burnout. There is no suffering, no cause of suffering, no ending of suffering, and no path, no wisdom, no attainment, no non-attainment. Therefore, since there is no attainment, the Bodhisattvas abide by means of transcendent knowledge. And since there is no obscurity of mind, they have no fear. They transcend falsity and pass beyond the bounds of sorrow. All Buddhas dwell in the past, present, and future. By means of transcendent knowledge, fully and clearly awakened to unsurpassed, true, complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of transcendent knowledge, the mantra of deep insight, the unsurpassed mantra, the unequaled mantra, the mantra which calms all suffering shall be known as true, for there is no deception. In transcendent knowledge, the mantra is proclaimed, Jaya Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisattva. O Shariputra, this is how Bodhisattva Mahasattva should learn profound transcendent knowledge. Then the Blessed One arose from that samadhi and praised the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara, saying, Good, good, O son of noble family, profound, transcendent knowledge should be practiced, just as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, Shariputra and Avalokiteshvara, that whole gathering in the world with its gods, humans, assurance, and Gandharvas, their hearts full of joy, praised the words of the Blessed One. Generating bodhicitta, says Bodhisattva, vow and refuge, we say it 3 times. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate a mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. We've been doing the longest that Nikki has prescribed. We will do 1 round of Om Mani Padme Hum. Or if you don't do that, just sit quiet and relax. It's your business. Om Mani Padme Hum. That name. Almighty God, name. Since it's His Holiness' birthday, we're doing one of his lectures, which applies directly, of course, to Lama for the role of Buddhism, but specifically, I think you'll enjoy his little tips on how to manage your mind, how to manage your thoughts day by day. And he tells the truth. I'm reading from this version of it. This is from Matthew Ricard Anthology. It's a very good book to buy. It's got stuff from all the sects of Tibetan Buddhism, his personal. But it's also the second chapter of this book, The Compassionate Life. Same thing. And I marked up this one so I know what to stop and what to emphasize. So this I just started marking up because it came over the weekend from our friends of yours, and I was like, hey, it's a good book also. But this is the same thing. Matthew translated this, I think. This is killed strong, but very similar. I mean, it's just a few pronouns that are different, that's all. In cultivating compassion, he's using that. You can cultivate anything. He's telling you how to change your mind in detail, very practical. He's saying before cultivating love and compassion, it is important to understand what these two terms refer to specifically, exactly because you're going to develop it. Not a vague idea, but what Buddhism presents, and you examine and see what representing you like or not. In the Buddhist tradition, they are seen as, this is big, two aspects of the same feeling of benevolence. Two sides of the same coin, you could say. Two aspects of that same feeling of, you feel benevolent. You want to remove suffering, you want to give affection. Technically, compassion is the wish to remove suffering. Love is the wish to give people whatever they need. And we'll expand on both of those terms. And he gives a definition himself now. Love is the desire that all beings may be happy. All. Notice all is in there. Not just who you like. Who likes you. And compassion is the wish that they may be free from suffering. End of story. That's the bottom line of Buddhism is. So when you're targeting, you're developing your mind, that's the target you're looking for. That's the criteria. Then we must ask ourselves, if you're not too busy, you could ask yourself something. Otherwise, wait till you're not. We could ask ourselves whether it is possible to cultivate love and compassion and to have less and less anger, hatred, and jealousy. Is it possible? What do you think he says? My answer is yes, without hesitation. Although for now, you may not agree with me. I ask you to remain open to that possibility. Let's think about it together. Perhaps we will find some answers. Please comment whatever you want. This is me. It's not guy in Rome, so he's talking. This is the classroom when I'm speaking. All kinds of happiness and all sufferings can be included in two categories. Anyone want to guess what categories? Those of the mind and those of the body. There's nothing else. You have a mind and you have a body. You have nothing. That's it. It's okay. That straightens you out right away. Go banging around. Have a way to sort things out. Very helpful. Because if you look at your mind, it's going nuts all the time. Yeah. So, mind and body. For most of us, it is the mind that plays the most decisive role in feelings of well-being and ill-being. Yes. You don't feel well, somebody puts a plate of the best food in front of you. You don't feel like eating it. It doesn't help you. In comparison, the role of our physical condition is secondary. And we don't do that normally. We default to how we feel physically first. Yes or no? You think so? You have to examine. Unless we are seriously ill or in abject poverty, otherwise the mind is more important. Seriously ill, the physical body is overwhelming you in a strong mind. And you're in abject poverty, you're fearful, you're hungry, so the physical situation seems to trump, I can't use that word, overpower the beautiful physical feeling, yes. Mind can be affected by the most insignificant events. Mind can be affected by the most insignificant events. I don't like the way you looked at me. I don't like that. There's little things like that set you off. You gotta get rid of that junk. I was going to use those words. So it's appropriate to make more effort to pacify the mind than to ensure one's physical comfort. Of course, and not only that, the mind travels life after life, the body doesn't. You're going to pick up another body, whatever it is. So the mind has to take, if you're smart, has to take forever. More than putting money in the bank, putting merit in the mind is better, they say. But we're not there yet. We don't believe it. Is it possible to transform your mind? What happened? It's not working?
It's picking up the wind.
Picking up the wind, that's me. The wind is the energy in Tibetan. So, despite my limited experience, the Dalai Lama being super humble, his limited experience, who do you know that has more experience than him, as he displays even last night on his birthday celebration, which I think is archived. Despite my limited experience, I'm convinced that with regular training, key is regular. You have to stay with it, like learning a musical instrument. People learning the piano have no problem doing 2-3 hours a day forever, since they're kids. So the mind is the same. I'm convinced with regular training, it is quite possible to transform one's mind in a positive way, cultivating thoughts, attitudes, and tendencies that are beneficial to oneself and others, and reducing those that are harmful. This is a big step he just took. He's not accepting everything that runs in and out of the mind as we do. He's deliberately cultivating certain thoughts and holding them as much as he can. That's what we do.
I'm just, I was struck by that comment about how we become upset by insignificant things.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just thinking exactly that. Those lines, I was on the train this afternoon, and these people came on, and they were speaking very loudly. And then they had a child with them, who I guess felt neglected, and so therefore decided to make noise herself by running around, scream, run from one side of the train to the other, and these noises, and also even coming to the bus. This always, I think I mentioned this before, always annoys me when
You're in the wrong town,
this
Denise.
incredible loud noise, and someone has dropped their cell phone, but it's like it really sounds like you hit something.
You felt that way. Did everybody else on the train? No, probably. It's a personal thing. Yeah.
But how do you, when I'm thinking about this all the time, and when I think about it, I realize this is really insignificant, and this is stupid. But then, how do you determine what's a really significant thing?
When you, for instance, sound, you're trying to be quiet, meditate, and then you hear this, you hear that, the dog is that. What they always say is no movies. In other words, don't run an internal movie. Don't elaborate on it. Why that dog barking? What's all this? It's only sound, and let it run through you, in and out. That's one guy talking to Alan Wallace, and Alan Wallace himself, I think, was complaining. He was in Pasadena, which is a very quiet town, I'm told. I was in it once, and he didn't like the idea that he was trying to meditate in the morning, and his neighbor's kid was running up and down with the tricycle. And he says, just leave it there. It's only sound. Don't attach your own meanings to it. Don't run your own dialogue. And what about this? I hope the kid falls. Oh, no, that's not right. I shouldn't think that. But why don't the parents, on and on? You lost 10 minutes meditation yakking to yourself. That's a big point, though. You have to train yourself not to go off that way. And you'll see that you're adding more to the situation than it's there. Of course, the subway, It's not the top of two sheet of heaven or something. It's loud. And anything could happen. It's an extreme situation. You can handle it. You're pretty good. So
I heard once that it's a good practice to think of all sound as mantra.
you could if you're that high up. Yes, you could. This is the serious, but people like me, hey, just talk. Don't interrupt when I'm interrupting.
Sorry.
No.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Before you're talking about love and compassion,
Right.
so this reminds me that's like the first half of the four immeasurables, which are used
Right.
for the view
Yeah.
of the Eightfold Buddhist Path.
Yeah, they can blend it into that.
So love, compassion, joyfulness, and equanimity.
And equanimity, love, compassion,
So
joy, and
is
equanimity.
that the equation for the view of the Eightfold
It
Buddhist
conditions the mind so that the eightfold, there's little, I'm not familiar with all memorized, but that conditions the mind so that you're clearing space and you're not
Path?
aggravated by this.
Developing the goodness of heart.
That's right. Well, he'll
So that-
elaborate on this, yes. Yeah, and gives you a lot of peace, and then you can start analyzing properly. You must analyze, because you don't convince yourself of anything unless you reach the reasonable conclusion mentally to yourself.
When my mind is clear and I have equanimity and peacefulness, and before I begin my meditation, I go into the four immeasurables.
Very good.
May all people be happy. I think
Yeah.
about the relations, if they should be happy, starting with the easy ones first.
Oh, you're doing a video of all the
Then
people.
you expand.
I know, I know.
May all people be free from suffering and all its
You're
causes,
doing
which is compassion. May all people be joyful. So even if it's wrongful joyful, let it be. Let them just be happy. And then equanimity. That no matter what happens to me, positive, negative, I try to maintain a steadiness. And then the mind is conditioned.
Yeah, it's not you that may they be free of attachment
We
and
develop a
aversion.
good state.
May
and
beings
then
be
go
that
into
way.
meditation.
Yeah, my on everything. It's not just me being that way, of course. May
Sorry?
beings be free of attachment and aversion, hatred and
I didn't
clean,
hear
clean.
you.
May beings be free.
Oh,
Not just
okay.
may I be free of
Oh, okay.
attachment and
All people.
aversion. All people. But you start realizing the quality of being unattached, you know, and then may all people have this. I feel so great. Why doesn't everybody feel? Something like that. Here, you're always emphasizing others.
So this is
But
good.
first, you got to have the mind to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So this is good for the Mahayana and the Theravada.
that's right. If you go out, Theravada is not as extreme as we think. They're great saints.
Yeah.
They are, but they have more to go. So there's limited experience. So we can, he's saying here, you manage the mind. He's saying that we cultivating thoughts, attitudes, and tendencies that are beneficial to oneself and others, and reducing those that are harmful. So you're making a deliberate, it's not easy. We've all tried it, I'm sure. No, anyway, what we call mind, this is very important, 10 lines or something. What we call mind is a very curious phenomenon. Sometimes it is rigid and resistant to any change, but it can also become very flexible, provided we make constant efforts to transform it and become convinced by reflection that this change is not only possible, but necessary. You gotta do it. Yeah, otherwise you're traveling the same way we always are. And the mind bounces over. You know that. If you ever take time and look at all the thoughts running through, woo! After a while, they calm down. Oh, let's let him lead us in. Become convinced by reflection. In other words, you analyze. This change is not only possible, but necessary. Once you realize that you need to have it, and the rewards of having it, you start to be self-motivating. You don't have to force it anymore. But it is not enough to make wishes or prayers, he's saying. There has to be reasoning based on experience, your own experience, reasoning. And we cannot expect this transformation to happen overnight because our old habits resist any kind of quick solution. It's easy to relax and let the flow go. No go.
So I should be
You're ill? You okay? Oh, you just don't want to get ill. yet you don't want to be sick because you're wearing the mask. Yeah, I understand. Go ahead, Joseph.
So how do we analyze our mind? How do we?
Let's listen to, maybe he'll tell us. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, I didn't get what you were
How
saying.
you have to think of logical reasons. You're going to go to on a trip or something. You don't just let me go there by whim. You know that's foolish. You know what happens then. Should I go there? What's in it for me? Benefits, faults, that kind of thing. You're buying a car. You're buying a house. A little analysis. If you just do it impulsively, good luck. Maybe you got real good karma. So the idea is, and when you think things out, you've convinced yourself. The mind is more fully going in that direction. If you don't think things out, underneath in your mind there's still a little doubt, and maybe I don't know, and all that. You got to get rid of all those. You got to be one way focused on what you're going to do. So you do that by analysis. The idea, of course, take this in little bites. This is not, you go crazy with this.
Just develop a steady mind.
Steady mind, a little
Peaceful
at a time, a peaceful mind, and by the way, that's a happy mind. I think,
Sure.
Yeah. Even on the subway, you could be happy. Just drink a lot and then go on there drunk. I don't know. It's a rough one.
It's very bad to feel rushed.
Yes.
And you feel that you have to.
We could do volumes on the subway. We just we're talking about it. How to cultivate compassion. And now what does he start with? The word egocentrism. Egocentrism, yes, which affects us all in varying degrees, prevents us from feeling love and compassion towards others, or absorbed with our idea of who we are. Our idea of who we are, not who we are in reality. We haven't seen emptiness directly, but we have an idea. And who the hell is he to talk to me? Forget it. So that prevents us from feeling love and compassion toward us. But to be truly happy, one must have a mind at peace, which we are coming to that conclusion. And peace of mind will come only through altruistic love. I didn't expect that. Altruistic love, not attached love, or she's so great and he's so great, whatever. Of course, to cultivate compassion is not enough to believe in its benefits or marvel at the beauty of such feelings. We have to make an effort and use all the circumstances of daily life to change our thoughts and behavior. So this is a 24-hour-a-day job. You're always on, a little bit in the mind, always watching what's going on here. And of course you lose and you go crazy, but then you, in retrospect, I blew it. This is a long haul. This is a real marathon. You may be running for several lives. One must also know precisely what those words really mean. He puts a big effort on that. Real yellow hat lama. Knowing the precise meaning of words. Not all techniques do that. Some, but here, that's what he's emphasizing. That's why they're so scholarly. Usually love and compassion are mixed with desire and attachment.
Could you say that again?
Usually, I will, very important. Love and compassion are mixed with desire and attachment. Desire and attachment are sort of related. The love parents have for their children, for example, is biased and limited compared to, it's very good, but compared to unconditional love that the Buddha is talking about. He's talking about something very different. Not, this is my son, my daughter, my wife, my this, my country, my that. Everybody's the same. That's very hard, but that's Buddha's message. He's not running for office, this is the truth. So, similarly, the feeling of being in love is actually more a form of attachment. Okay, here goes all the Tinder websites and everything else going down the tube. It's attachment, he's saying. Human, the way we go about things. Based on mental projections and fantasies than true altruistic love. He explains. The best evidence for this is that once these projections change, the feeling disappears and sometimes turns into its opposite. And you're in divorce court. Yay! How different things are in a few years. Unfortunately, that's the situation. Desire can be so strong that the one to whom we are attached appears to us to be free from defects And even if they really have a lot, we don't see it. And at the same time, we exaggerate their qualities. Such distortions of reality are signs that our love is motivated more by our personal needs than by a real concern for others. And that you can meditate on for quite a while. How I feel towards this person in the world, blah, blah, blah. And then a few months later, she's throwing your clothes out the window, so whatever. All the things that go on. So you have to look at your own mind. Am I seeing reality? Am I making a projection? Most of us are projecting a certain quality onto a person that they don't have, and then suddenly you realize they don't have it. Is it possible to experience a love without partiality? What do you think?
It's possible.
It's possible. It should not come from a simple emotional reaction. Oh, this is different. It shouldn't come from a simple emotion. It should be based on reflection and lead to a firm commitment. Then it will no longer depend on how others treat us. We won't care then. Amazing. If you could be free of worrying about how they treat you and how they react, you're ahead of everybody. You're ahead of the game. You're rich. You're really wealthy. And that quality, since the mind travels with you to the next life. Once the mind is improved, it goes on, it stays that way. It keeps moving and moving. Improved based on the right technique. The goal of the Buddhist practitioner is to cultivate this kind of love, sincerely wishing happiness to all beings in the universe. This is obviously not easy. It's easy to imagine it, make the thought, and why not? It's hard to hold it and think particularly and everything, but it's pretty good, and why not? And leave it alone at that. The mind's affected by hearing that noise, that thought.
So it should be a relationship based on shared values, shared goals.
Shared bank account? No.
Shared ideals of Dharma, maybe.
Yeah, as best you can.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that maybe have a little bit longer staying power.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes. Well, I was married 52 years, so it stayed. But, yeah. You have to run it through logic and say, is this person or me or that? I don't know what to tell young people.
So in the 4 immeasurables, it goes, may all people be happy.
May all beings be happy.
Happy and have cause for happiness.
Cause for happiness. Very important.
So the cause for happiness is the goal orientation.
You're telling them how they can go about having it. You're telling yourself, imprinting in your mind that everything has a cause, which it does. If you want something, create the cause. That's all. Create the cause. And everything, like we're sitting here now because we created causes for this to happen. I don't know when. I don't have that kind of a view, but they claim. But you think, is anything not caused?
I guess it means that develop an awareness of what is good quality that's going to be helpful, and then try to take our emotion and create a desire for that type of better quality.
You have to manage the emotions. The emotions can be tamed by good logic, by good thinking. When they're not active, you're quiet. You come to certain conclusions. Slowly, you'll see that you don't explode as much as you won't get aggravated on the train as much. You think, well, this is only, and then by the way, I'm not going to be on this train forever, even though it seems like it. There's another one ahead of us or something, But the Subway Sutra by Junichi. Start writing. That's I heard once. Boy, did I hear. All right. So everything has a cause, and I always bring the same thing up. Holiness Dalai Lama was at a conference with scientists, and one physicist said, this little atom does this, and we have no idea how it does that. There seems to be no cause. It shows up, then it doesn't. So His Holiness said, no, stop. If it didn't have a cause, it would always be there or not there at all. If something is random, something caused it. So you could take that to the bank. It's very simple, unemotional. It's the truth.
Sincerely, is something.
Yeah, so we don't know why this particular, I forget what he was talking about. Wallace quotes him. Wallace was interpreting. And disappears and then it doesn't. Appears and then we don't know the cause. It seems to have no cause. So he comes up and says, no. Something had no cause, it's always there or never there. The fact that it's in and out, it's random, it's like something causes it. You may not be able to see the cause, we don't have the perceptive ability to see certain causes. We don't have the ability to see karma going off that was created 10,000 years ago. So if something is not caused, it's always around, it's not reacting to cause it, or it's never around. That's it. So that's a very big point, and that should give you a lot of confidence in the theory of cause and effect, which this whole system is built on. Pull that out, everything tumbles. I like to stay on time. Yeah, we're probably going to stay with this all night, so the rest of this
If
night.
we realize everything is karma, then we...
That's right.
Then we develop better patience.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
I'm working on it. Yeah, it is. And the person that's going crazy, they're being manipulated by their afflictions. That's the cause. And why do they have it? Because they foolishly don't know how to go about things to make yourself calm and peaceful.
So the rationale of why me should be the last state.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, Joseph, all the way from the Pacific Ocean. You came out of the ocean at the right time, Joseph. Yeah, why me? It doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
You are playing the hand you dealt yourself many lives ago. Why me? I know, that's very hard to come around with, because, but it's the truth. Think about it. You can't disprove it. Okay, yes, it's necessary, and this transition doesn't happen overnight. Egocentrism is the problem. The definition of egocentrism, I don't know. Different psychology texts have this and that. I don't know how he's using the word, but I get the idea of me. You know, I'm the most important person in the world, and who are you? You know. Feeling of being loved, we went through that. Let us reason like this. Whether others are beautiful or ugly, this is page 89, well, you don't have the book. Whether others are beautiful or ugly, benevolent or cruel, they're all sentient beings like us. Okay, that's the common denominator. Now where do we go from here? And like us, they want to be happy and not suffer. We've heard this before, but it's deep, you know. Which is their right, just like us. Everyone has the right to be happy. Recognizing that all beings are equal in their aspiration and their right to happiness, we feel a sense of empathy that brings us closer to them. He's saying that if you stay with this thought, don't sit there like that, but bring it up all the time and realize that, yes, they are like me. Slowly underneath, in the deeper levels of the mind, messages come up that make you feel more empathetic towards others. We attack problems directly. Oh, I got to be very nice to them. Think reasons first when it's quiet. You won't find yourself exploding as often as you did before. Even I have a little taste there, but not much. You know, I still go crazy, but it works. In other words, logic underneath works. Underneath the constant conscious flow, if you sit down quietly and reason things out over time, those reasonings go to the sub-levels of the mind. The surface mind is very gross. We have levels underneath that, like the ocean. The waves on the surface don't really tell you that underneath it's very quiet, deep down. It's a metaphor they use a lot. We feel a sense of empathy that brings us closer. As we get accustomed to this over time, not instant, unless you have good background, good roots from previous life, and you pick up on it right away. Hey, Bill, how are you? We finally experience a sense of what he calls universal responsibility. We have a deep down sense that the world shouldn't be the way it is, universal, including animals. I mean, we're responsible. That's a bodhisattva attitude he's giving you. Whose problem is my problem? Let me see what I can do. I know that some people will say, to wish that all sentient beings be happy is unrealistic. They think it is more effective to start with the beings with whom we have a direct link, and then gradually expand the circle, and it is pointless to think of all beings as a whole because their number is unlimited. Why don't we just start with the
Say
guy?
that again, the last
I'll do it
sentence.
again. It said it's unrealistic to wish that all beings be happy. They think it is more effective to start with the beings with whom we have a direct link, people we know, classroom friends or whatever, and then gradually expand the circle. And it is pointless to think of all beings as a whole because their number is unlimited. How could we even get them? All right, that's a good retort. Okay, let's see what he said. In other contexts, this objection would have some relevance, but our goal is to extend our kindness to all forms of life that can experience well-being and suffering. If any form of life wants well-being and doesn't want suffering, our job is to be responsible for them. Can't do it now. A Buddha can. They emanate all kinds of forms without even thinking. That's our goal. We can't do that now. You know, we can't even put on a mask and fake it. You know. So, with time and patience, I hate the word, with time and patience, we can come to experience such universal love. Obviously, self-centeredness and at a deeper level, our belief in an ego existing as an autonomous entity, he's getting into the emptiness now, will do everything possible to dissuade us. We have an inner enemy, our ego, an inner enemy. Wow. Doesn't pay rent, but it's living right with you. Terrible. Unconditional love is only really possible when the concept of an independent self has faded away. There is the reason for meditating on emptiness and how meditation on emptiness affects compassion. So the two, emptiness and compassion, meet. This does not prevent us from starting right away at our level and gradually progressing. Where to start? 34th Street? No. We must begin by addressing anger and hatred. Clean house in our mind, which are the biggest obstacles to selfless love. As we all know, these extremely powerful emotions can turn our minds upside down. If we do not control them, they will poison our entire existence and make it impossible to taste the joy of loving all others. He's giving you a hint about how he feels. You could see him smile. He's getting off on all these beings, and they're getting off at the wrong time. He really genuinely feels this. And other beings, other good lamas, you see them with a sparkle in their eye towards everyone. If you are among those who do not see anger as a negative emotion and find that in certain situations that exasperate you, a burst of anger seems to give you renewed confidence and energy, carefully consider in what state your mind is at those moments. It does on the surface. Yeah, that's it, I told him. A little strength. He's always said anger is not a feeling of, it's not a show of strength, it's a show of weakness, basically. You're frustrated, so you get angry. You don't have the answer, a skillful way, so you explode. Sure sign of weakness, sure sign of underdevelopment, mental underdevelopment. This is the spiritual standard. I mean, in the regular world, that's fine. You can get angry. No, we'll try.
I've heard the Dalai Lama say that he gets angry sometimes, but he dispels it very quickly.
Yeah, probably. And also, we don't know where it's coming from. Yes, yes.
So that's a practical.
He also says you could have a show of anger, but inside calm. For instance, a mother that sees a kid crossing the street, don't go in the curb. Boom, pats and boots him on the butt or something. There's no hatred and anger there, but there's a show of fierceness. A show of wrath, but not real hatred. There's anger and hatred are very bad. It's a combination. The energy that your anger brings is blind energy. You cannot know with certainty what effects, positive or negative, it will produce in the end. He's saying that's blind energy. When you lose your temper, you close the access to the rational part of the brain. This is modern science agreeing with him. So the energy of anger is rarely reliable and can lead us to act in ways that are sometimes highly destructive, sometimes self-destructive. When it reaches a certain intensity, it makes us lose all reason, and we can hurt not only others, but also ourselves. You can see that happening, I think. I don't know. Let's lose our temper and find out. To manage difficult situations, fortunately, we have an energy as powerful as that of anger. But this time it's controllable, as it comes from anger's most effective antidotes: kindness, patience, and reason. Kindness, patience, and reason are the three counterforces to anger, the antidotes. The moderation that these qualities engender is often interpreted as a sign of weakness. Personally, I think it is true inner strength, because it comes with the background idea that this is temporary, this is caused by karma. I actually did something in the past to have this thing coming to me now. Why get all upset? Let's not cause more karma by reacting and shooting the guy, whatever you do. That background that you have helps. You don't explode. There's no reason to. Okay, let it play out. Don't repeat it. Compassion is certainly benevolent and peaceful by nature, but it gives great power, while those who easily lose patience are unstable and not sure of themselves. I think it is giving vent to anger that is a clear sign of weakness. He repeats and repeats this. I think he's right. Too bad I can't practice it yet. I'll try. When a conflict arises, try to stay humble and sincerely seek an equitable solution. Are you listening in the Middle East? Are you listening? Some people will take advantage of you, or your detachment may provoke an aggressive reaction. That happened. Wife yelling at her husband yelling at her, say something, at least answer me. They're remaining like wood, like Shannon Davis said. Sometimes the other party reacts aggressively. So you may provoke an aggressive reaction, then adopt a firm attitude, but without losing your compassion. And if to assert your position you must take strong action, do it without anger or malice, and that is a high art. Doing forceful things without anger or malice. But that's the right way to do it, because if you don't have anger or this hatred in you, the mind is more open to a solution. More part of the brain is at work. It's not shut down to put all the energy into this, So you'll find out. You have to run this through your mind and through your life. You prove this in the laboratory of life. You should understand, His Holiness says, in fact, even if your opponents seem to harm you, ultimately they are mainly harming themselves. Now we come back to karma, cause and effect. They're hurting themselves. Very hard to think this way, but they're actually hurting themselves. To control the instinctive egotistical reflex, which is to fight back, remember, you are trying to practice compassion and help others not to suffer the consequence of their actions. If you adopt measures that were chosen with calm, they will be even more effective, powerful, and adapted to the situation. And the calm mind is a smarter mind. No question. You could prove that yourself. All right, hold on. Let me think. Friends and enemies, the next heading he has here. Those who create this kind of difficulty for us are generally not our friends, but our enemies. No, that's a classification. Who knows, in a previous life they probably were our mothers. Wait a minute. So if we really want to learn something, we should consider our enemies to be the best teachers we could possibly find. Tough. Hard to have that idea. The kid on the subway is the best teacher, Junichi. If you want to develop patience, you have to have somebody who provokes you. The kind Lama that smiles all the time and gives you tea. He's not giving you patience.
So this is very similar to the 8 verses.
Oh, it's the 8 verses, yeah. In full orchestration here. A Broadway show of the 8 verses. The practice of patience is indeed essential for cultivating love and compassion, and we could not perform that practice if we had no enemies. So you don't have any, the Buddhas will manifest one and shove it right in your face. No, I don't know. They deserve our gratitude. It's the last thing on my mind. Since genuine compassion is necessarily universal, they deserve our gratitude, and I skipped the page, smart. It is they who ultimately contribute most to our peace of mind if you know how to use them. This is right out of Shantideva. Your enemy's your best friend. We might add that it often happens in and around our personal lives that enemies become friends as circumstances change. Say nothing of life after life, but just in this life. Friends become enemies, enemies become friends. Watch the news. It is, of course, natural to want to surround ourselves with friends. Wealthy friends, too. What? Someone said that. But I do not think that friendships comes from aggression, anger, jealousy, or fierce competition. The best way to make friends is to be kind toward others. If you really care about others, are concerned for their well-being, help them, serve them, you will have more friends and elicit more smiles. What do you get from that attitude? Lots of support when you need it. But if you neglect the happiness of others in the long term, it is you who will be the loser. I love laughter, he says, but there are different kinds of laughter. He sticks this in. I don't know if it is, but it's very interesting. There is artificial, sarcastic, diplomatic, or hypocritical laughter. Oh, yeah. Those kinds can cause suspicion and even fear, but genuine laughter creates an impression of freshness. Freshness. It's on the moment, it's spontaneous, it's not orchestra, things like that, which I believe is a characteristic of human beings, freshness. So we have to tell more jokes here at the Tibet. Anybody hear a good one? Let's see, what time do we have? We have a little, we'll do about 9 minutes, but we'll do about 4 minutes till we get time for the prayers. I like to end at 8 o'clock so people can catch their trains or their appointment in Hollywood or whatever. Anger and hatred are a real and constant enemy. This is, the heading is defeating the enemy within. We'll probably pick it up next week too. Something to think about. Are real and constant enemies. It is they, not our temporary adversaries, that we need to fight and conquer. Not the people we see here, they're going to die anyway, new people will come, and we think that's what's making us angry. Look inside, the problem is there. As we have not trained our minds to weaken their power to harm, these emotions continue to disrupt and negate all our efforts for inner peace. So clean house, get rid of anger, hatred. To eliminate the destructive potential of anger and hatred, we must understand that they are rooted in the pursuit of our own well-being to the detriment of others. That's hard to uncover. This anger is rooted in the detriment, in our pursuit of our own well-being to the detriment of others. In other words, egotistical selfishness is the cause of anger. We don't get it, we're frustrated. Anger is frustrated desire. What kind of desires do you have? Are they realistic? The ego desires, they're going to meet with failure, and then you're going to go crazy. This selfishness is not only the source of anger, it's also the root cause of all our troubles, right? As it relies on a misleading perception that prevents us from seeing the true nature of things. Bang, emptiness, bang. Someone who aspires to cultivate love and compassion must understand the illusory nature of this enemy within and how it inevitably produces its adverse effects. He's telling you what it is conventionally, and he's telling you its ultimate illusory nature. It's not solid. He does that in like 10 words. Amazing. He gets an A in this class. We're very generous here. All right, so we'll end there because we have to say prayers, etc. Any names besides my sister-in-law? Norma SPINA died over Saturday night, my sister-in-law. I know her since, my brother's wife, since 1976. Very good woman. She was poor when she was young, couldn't have shoes, couldn't go to school in the Caribbean there. So came here and made a good career, got a degree and a good career at customs. So, very nice person. She has been suffering from dementia for a couple of years, so somewhat of a relief. But she outlived her mother. She lived to 84.
So before you said at the beginning of the class, the mind is continuous and reincarnates and remains
right.
forever.
It's always around.
The mind.
The mind. The body, no.
Is it, right, but is it possible to discern different qualities of mind? Or
It's-
are you referring to only the illuminated mind?
No, different qualities of mind, and good and bad qualities, if you want, or attributes of the mind, whatever you want to say. But underneath,
So if someone has negative karma and negative mind, that they
it can
have
be
to go
changed
through,
because it's not
then
its
that
true nature.
will be reincarnated in the next life as well.
Well, it depends on what the strong, at the time of death, the strongest karma comes up and throws you here or there, if nothing else is impacting you, if somebody's crying. So, the nature of the mind, though, is the Buddha nature. We're all destined to become Buddhas. Universal, that's it. That's not going to happen. No, because the Buddhas that are there already have nothing else to do but constantly push us towards that goal. So that's confident, but I don't see it exactly, but you should think that way. And the mind does travel. If you have a choice between I should develop my body or my mind, the mind. You know, we don't really have that choice, but and then there are times where they affect each other nicely.
As we develop awareness of
Yes.
the reality that we live in,
Right?
then we should act in accordance and strive for the
We,
higher mind.
we heard this information, now you should not believe it. You should examine it.
We should
Examine it. Think about it and let it release more meaning. Because if you agree with it, you're putting on the side, yeah, very nice. That's not changing. What does he say this for? Well, all right, we don't have to get angry at it, but look at it carefully. There's a lot there. So, Sutra of the Recollections. Yes. Oh, I thought somebody was asking a question. You're scratching. I prostrate to the Omniscient One. Thus the Buddha, Bhagavat, Tathagata, Arahat, Samyak Sang Buddha, the learned and virtuous one, the Sugata, the knower of the world, the charioteer and tamer of beings, the unsurpassable one, the teacher of devas and humans is the Buddha Bhagavat. The Tathagata is in accord with all merit. He does not waste the roots of virtue. He is completely ornamented with all patience. He is the basis of the treasures of merit. He is adorned with the minor marks. He blossoms with the flowers of the major marks. His activity is timely and appropriate. Seeing him, he is without disharmony. He brings true joy to those who long with faith. His knowledge cannot be overpowered. His strength cannot be challenged. He is the teacher of all sentient beings. He is the father of bodhisattvas. He is the king of noble ones. He is the guide of those who journey to the city of nirvana. He possesses immeasurable wisdom. He possesses inconceivable confidence. His speech is completely pure. His melody is pleasing. One never has enough of seeing him. His form is incomparable. He's not stained by the realm of desire. He's not stained by the realm of form. He is not affected by the formless realm. He is completely liberated from suffering. He is completely and utterly liberated from the skandhas. He is not possessed with dhatus. His ayatanas are controlled. He has completely cut the knots. He is completely liberated from extreme torment. He is liberated from craving. He has crossed over the river. He is perfected in all the wisdoms. He abides in the wisdom of the Buddha Bhagavats, who arise in the past, present, and future. He does not abide in nirvana. He abides in the ultimate perfection. He dwells on the bhumi where he sees all sentient beings. All these are the perfect virtues of the greatness of the Buddha Bhagavat. The holy Dharma is good at the beginning, good in the middle, and good at the end. Its meaning is excellent. Its words are excellent. It is uncorrupted. It is completely perfect and completely pure. It completely purifies. The Bhagavat teaches the Dharma well. It brings complete vision. It is free from sickness. It is always timely. It directs one further. Seeing it fulfills one's purpose. It brings discriminating insight for the wise. The Dharma, which is taught by the Bhagavat, is revealed properly in the Vinaya. It is renunciation. It causes one to arrive at perfect enlightenment. It is without contradiction. It is pithy. It is trustworthy. Puts an end to the journey. As for the Sangha of the great Jnana, they enter completely. They enter insightfully. They enter straightforwardly. They enter harmoniously. They are worthy of veneration with joined palms. They are worthy of receiving prostration. They are a field of glorious merit. They are completely capable of receiving all gifts. They are an object of generosity. They are a great object of complete generosity. The protector who possesses great kindness, the omniscient teacher, the basis of oceans of merit and virtue, I prostrate to the Tathagata. Pure, the cause of freedom from passion, virtuous, liberating from the lower realms. This alone is the supreme ultimate truth. I prostrate to the Dharma, which is peace. Having been liberated, they show the path to liberation. They are fully dedicated to the disciplines. They are a holy field of merit and possess virtue. I prostrate to the Sangha. I prostrate to the Buddha, the leader. I prostrate to the Dharma, the protector. I prostrate to the Sangha, the community. I prostrate respectfully and always to these three. The Buddha's virtues are inconceivable. The Dharma's virtues are inconceivable. The Sangha's virtues are inconceivable. Having faith in these inconceivables, therefore the fruitions are inconceivable. May they be born in a completely pure realm. So now we have 8 verses for training the mind. So see how this compares to this Holiness's talk. With the determination to accomplish the highest welfare of all sentient beings who surpass even a wish-granting jewel, I will learn to hold them supremely dear. Whenever I associate with others, I will learn to think of myself as lowest amongst all, and respectfully hold others to be supreme from the very depths of my heart. In all actions, I will learn to search into my mind, as soon as a disturbing emotion arises, endangering myself and others, I will firmly face and avert it. I will learn to cherish ill-natured beings and those oppressed by strong misdeeds and sufferings, as if I had found a precious treasure difficult to find. When others out of jealousy treat me badly, with abuse, slander, and so on, I will learn to take all loss and offer the victory to them. When the one who unreasonably hurts me very badly, I will learn to view that person as an excellent spiritual guide. In short, I will learn to offer to everyone without exception all help and happiness directly and indirectly, and respectfully take upon myself all harm and suffering of my mothers. I will learn to keep all these practices undefiled by the stains of the 8 worldly concerns, and by understanding all phenomena as light illusions, be released from the bondage of attachment. So the prayer for the quick return of Rato Chungwa Rinpoche. Exalted wisdom of all victors gathered in a drop, sole refuge manifest in the form of the one wearing saffron robes. Guru Lozan Tuguan Dorje Chan, please bear witness here today that our prayers may be fulfilled. We beseech the great torch of doctrine, accomplishing from long ago the vast ways of aspirational prayers. Lord of speech of the victor Losang's teachings, spreading them to the ends of the earth by means of explanation and practice. Though holding the commitment, I will invite all beings to be my guests in unsurpassed great awakening. Yet you have withdrawn the activities of the form body that serves the welfare of others. Is that worthy of the supreme among beings, the Bodhisattvas? Though impossible for you, till cyclic existence's end, to abandon your commitment to liberate all beings, we beseech the new son of Nirmanakaya to swiftly return from the realm of Dharmakaya, brought forth by bodhicitta drawn by 7 steeds. Having reached the far limits of scholarship, religious life, and goodness, please come swiftly as an unrivaled supreme emanation, full holder of the sage's teachings, and wish-fulfilling jewel. Return as the glory of Losang Tempe, magnificent truth of the 3 precious jewels, Mahakala, Karmayama, and Sri Mata Devi, and the oceans of Dharma protectors, may you spontaneously fulfill our wish, the swift blossoming of the reincarnation's fresh moonlight face. So the next Dharma talk we'll have will be Wednesday night at the Parsonage in South Orange, New Jersey. Our website tells you how to get there. Refreshments are always served. And this Sunday, the Dalai Lama's birthday, if you have time, if you're in the neighborhood, drop in at 1 o'clock to the Tibet Center for short, long life prayer for His Holiness and a birthday cake and whatever else goes on. It's a nice this Sunday. Yeah. We'll announce it again Wednesday. Also, there's a big celebration in Queens with the live in Queens, Christina. It's in your neighborhood, practically 74th Street. They have a big gala celebration. You can have momos, you can buy rosaries, you can drink beer with the rest of them. Tenzin will be there as our representative. Tenzin's going, right?
I think so.
You're not.
I'm not sure.
No, you're not sure yet. No, okay.
Also on a Sunday?
It's his birthday. The 6th of July is Dalai Lama's
I
birthday
don't know if it's
in the
Saturday
Western
or
Catholic.
Sunday. I have to check. Or Queen's Night in Tibet.
You mean the community thing? Yeah. Maybe both.
Yeah, maybe both days, most likely.
They must have a website. We're still on. So what? They didn't hear anything. Nuclear secrets? No.